Section 12.3 talks about measures of central tendency, and we actually visited these same topics back in 7.3 with mean, median, and mode, because we're going to talk about pretty much the same ideas. We're going to use a new notation. So, guys, it says the mean, and it has that X with a little line over it. The way I read that part is X bar, okay? And so remember what the mean or the average is. It's the sum of the data divided by the number of pieces, okay? So this little kind of funny looking E means we're going to add up all the individual numbers and then we're going to divide it by however many we had, right? And again, we did that in 7.3. So let's look at the first problem here, and it says determine the mean. Determine the mean age for a group of firefighters if the ages are 30, 21, 51, 37, and 51. Okay, so just like I've done before, I'm going to go ahead and grab my calculator here. Okay, let's move this right here. Let's turn this guy on. Clear it. Okay, so we're going to go 30 plus 21 plus 51 plus 37 plus another 51, okay? And I'm going to divide it by 5 because there was 5 pieces, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when we do that, we come up with 38. Okay, so we can just say the mean, X bar, right, is 38. That, again, that's all the mean is telling me, right? It's just the average. And the only thing that's new is that we're going to use that little symbol X bar. Okay, so the second part here says a second average is what we call the median. So remember how we find the median. We're going to take our numbers and we're going to arrange them in order from smallest to biggest, and then we're going to pick the one in the middle. Okay, so it says determine the median of the firefighters' ages in the previous example. Okay, so the median, so the smallest number we had was 21, and then we had, let's see, 30, 37, and we had 51, and we had another 51. So the median, right, is going to be 37. It's just the one in the middle, okay? All right. So example number 3 is asking me to find the median again. Okay, so for part A, let's take our numbers. Let's put them in order from smallest to biggest. So 9 is the first one. Looks like we have 2 11s. And then we have a 12. And then we have a 14. And we have 2 16s. And then we have the number 17. Okay, so we're going to see how many pieces of information do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 pieces. So the middle one would be right there. And because there's no number exactly in the middle, what we're going to do is we're going to take the average of those two. So we're going to say, what's 12 plus 14 divided by 2? So 26 divided by 2 would be 13, right? That's our middle number. Okay. All right, let's do the same thing for part B. So here are my numbers in part B. And if you notice, our numbers are already in order, right? 7, 8, 8, 8, 8, 9, 10. So we have, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to find the average of the middle two. So 8 plus 8 divided by 2, 16 divided by 2. The median is still 8 here, okay? So if we have an even pieces of numbers, we're going to put them in order again, smallest to biggest, and then we're going to find the average of the two in the middle. Okay. All right, another thing we had talked about back in 7.3 was the mode. So it says determine the mode of the firefighters' ages. So guys, here were the firefighters' ages, right? Which was the number that occurred the most? Well, the number 51, right? 51 is the one, okay? And then we have something called the mid-range. So it says the mid-range is the set of data that can be calculated by using the following formula. So my formula here for mid-range is going to be, we're going to take the lowest value and the highest value, and we're going to divide them by 2. And so our problem here, again, is asking me to find the mid-range of the firefighters' ages. So let's go back to our firefighters. Here we go. The mid-range, we're going to take the lowest value, 21, right, and the highest value, 51, and we're going to divide them by 2. So 21 plus 51 divided by 2, because it's the lowest and the highest. So let's see, that's going to give me 72. 72 divided by 2 is going to give me 36, and that's what we call our mid-range. Okay, so moving on to the next example that I got right here. It says the salaries of 8 selected social workers are rounded to the nearest $1,000. They're 40, 25, 28, 35, 42, 60, 60, and 73. We want to find A, the mean, B, the median, C, the mode, and D, the mid-range. Okay, so guys, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and take these numbers and I'm going to put them first in order from smallest to biggest. So 25, then it looks like 28 is the next one. After 28, it looks like we have 35, and then 40, and then 42, and then 60, 60, and 73. Okay, so now, part A, we're going to find the mean. Remember, the mean is the X bar. So I'm going to take my calculator again, right here, and I'm going to add up all my numbers. So let me see, turn it back on. 25 plus 28 plus 35 plus 40 plus 42 plus 60 plus another 60 plus, what is it, 73? Yeah, 73. 73, okay, equals. And now I'm going to divide it by how many pieces of information do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 of them total. So my mean is going to be 38.625. 38.625. Again, guys, this is in thousands of dollars, right? Okay. Part B says, let's find the median. Okay. So the median says we're going to take the two numbers in the middle, right there. 40 plus 42 and divide it by 2. That's going to be 82 divided by 2. That's going to be 41 again. $1,000, right? Okay. Part C says we're going to find the mode. Remember, the mode is the number that occurs the most often. So in this case, 60, right? 60,000. And then part D, as in dog, says we're going to find the mid-range. We're going to take the smallest value, 25, and the biggest value, 73. We're going to add them up and divide by 2. That should give me 98 divided by 2. Again, oops. So 49,000, right? Okay, so let me scroll a little bit, Moss. Okay. Guys, we're going to go ahead and skip on measures of position for this part. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave that part out. We need to worry about that. And let's go ahead and go on to this next problem here. And you won't have a problem with measures of position, so don't even sweat it. Okay. So this problem here is almost like the one we just did before. Now we have the salaries of 10 employees, and we want to find mean, median, mode, mid-range, okay? So, guys, just like we did before, I'm going to write my numbers like in thousands. So I'm going to write them again from smallest to biggest. So the smallest looks like 28, 29. We have 1, 2 30s. We have a 31. We have a 32. We have a 33. We have a 35. Let's see. And then we have a 68 and an 85. Okay. So again, let me go ahead and find my average. I'm going to move this guy this way. So 28 plus 29 plus 30 plus 30 again plus 31 plus 32 plus 33 plus 35 plus 68 and 85. Okay, there we go. Add them together. Now remember, guys, this is in thousands of dollars. So I can multiply it by 1,000. And that says when I added up all those numbers, I really came up with 401,000, right? Okay. Now I'm going to divide them by 10 because there was 10 employees there, right? So my salary is going to be, or my median, or mean, I'm sorry, is going to be 40,100, right? So I'm going to say, okay, what is my mean? Well, my X bar we just found to be 40,100. Okay. Now let's look for our median. So remember, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to be the average of these two, right? So 31 plus 32 divided by 2 is going to be, let's see, what is that? 63 divided by 2 is going to be 31.5, which again, in terms of thousands, is $31,500, right? Because all I have to do now is multiply that guy by 1,000, and that's what I'll come up with. Okay. So let me just get rid of these little red lines here. There we go. Now we want to find the mode. Now remember, the mode is the number that occurred the most often. So the number that occurred the most often was $30,000. Okay. The mid-range, we're going to take our smallest number, 28. We're going to add our biggest number, 85, and we're going to divide them both by 2. Let me add them up. Okay, so let me get my calculator again. So we said 28 plus 85. Okay, again, I can multiply that by 1,000 because this is, again, in thousands. And divide it by 2. And I'm coming up with 56,500. So 56,500 is our mid-range. Okay, now there's a part E, and part E says if the employees wanted to demonstrate the need for a raise, which average would they use to show that they're being underpaid? So if they were going to show an average, guys, and it's telling me to be very specific, I'm going to choose between the mean and the median. So they're going to show that they're being underpaid, right? Which means they're not being paid enough. Then between the mean and the median, they would choose the median, right? Because it's the lowest one, right? The 31,500, that's the lowest one. So they're going to say, hey, we're not making enough. Look at my median salary here. And there's actually a part D, guys. And when you do your homework, there's going to be a part D. And it says if the employer, the boss, wanted to show them that they're being paid enough, which one would they choose? And the boss or the employer would say, let's use the mean to show that you're being paid enough, because you are making, on average, $40,000, right? Okay. All right. Guys, we're going to skip this problem here dealing with the grade of B. Again, you don't have one like this in your homework, so you don't need to worry about it. I'm going to take that one out, as well as the grading methods right here. And we're just going to do one more with employee salaries, okay? And we're going to see if we can't figure this thing out. So, excuse me. All right, so what we're going to do here, we're going to see if we can find the mean, the median, the mode, mid-range, and then which is the best measure of central tendency. Okay, so let's take a look-see here. I want you to notice that when I'm going to find my mean, it's not going to be as simple as me just adding those numbers up. Because this here, in fact, guys, is a frequency distribution. This is telling me how many folks are earning this amount of money, okay? So I'm going to do this again in terms of thousands. So we have one person making 100,000. We have 85,000 for two people. We have 24,000 for six folks. We have 21,000 for four people. We have five people making 18,000, and we have seven people making 17,000. So to find my total amount, I'm going to have to multiply each of these numbers and then add everything up. And I'm going to do that on my calculator. So let me bring this up so you guys can see it. Let me clear it out. So I'm going to do it exactly as I see there, guys. So 100 times 1, okay, plus 85 times 2, okay, plus 24 times 6, okay, plus 21 times 4, okay, plus, let's see, 18, oops, times 5, there we go, okay, plus, one more, 17 times 7, okay, and hit enter. Okay, now remember, this is in thousands, so I'm going to multiply that number by 1,000, okay. So now, when I add them all up, right, the number that I'm coming up with is $707,000, right? Now, I need to divide that by the total number of employees. So I got to add those numbers up, right? Because that's going to be the total number of people. So let me clear this out. So I'm just going to go 1 plus 2 plus 6 plus 4 plus 5 plus 7. Okay, here we go. So we have a total of 25 employees. Okay. So now we can divide those numbers out. So let me grab this again. 707. 1, 2, 3, divided by 25 employees. Okay, so I'm coming up with 28,280. Okay, there's our mean salary, 28,280. Okay. Now, excuse me, we want to find the median. Okay, remember what the median is. The median is going to be the number that is directly in the middle. Okay, so we're going to put our numbers, remember, from smallest to biggest, and then we're going to say, okay, what's the number right in the middle? So guys, if we're going to put our number from smallest to biggest and we have 25 employees, I want you to think about this for a minute. So I'm going to clean up this mess here just so that we can see what I'm trying to make a point of, okay? There we go. Okay. So I'm going to do this. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, I had to kind of do that because I was running out of room. Actually, you know what? I'm not running out of room. Let's do it this way. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. There we go. There's always room, right? Okay. Now what we're looking for is we're looking for the guy that's directly in the middle. The easy way to find the guy that's directly in the middle, take this number here and take that number there. 1 plus 25, let's divide it by 2. That's going to be 26. The guy in the middle is going to be the 13th employee. Okay? The 13th employee, that's the one that's directly in the middle, right? If you think about this, guys, there's 12 employees that way, and there's 12 employees that way, right? So let me kind of come back this way. Okay, so we're looking for the 13th employee. Now, I want you to notice that the numbers are already arranged from smallest to biggest as I go from the bottom up to the top, right? And if we're going to be looking for the 13th employee, well, look, there's 7 employees here. There's another 5 employees there. That's 12. The 13th employee would be in this range right here. So our median salary would be $21,000, right? Okay. Now, the mode. The mode should be a little easier to find. Remember what the mode is. The mode is the number that occurs the most often. So I'm going to look here and say, look, that's the number that occurs the most often. So 17,000 is going to be my mode, okay? Now to find my mid-range, I'm going to take the lowest value, 17,000, and we're going to add 100,000, and we're going to divide it by 2. It's going to give me 117,000 divided by 2, okay? So let's go 117 divided by 2, okay? 58,500. That's going to be my mid-range. So 58,500 is my mid-range. Okay, and now part E. So let's think about part E for a little bit. It says, which do you believe is the best measure of central tendency for this set of data? Okay. So guys, what they're referring to here is which one of those 4 numbers is going to be the most representative of this sort of piece of information here, okay? So what I'd like for y'all to do for a second is just look at my salaries, okay? And I want you to kind of think about, wouldn't you agree that these 2 salaries are going to be very different from those salaries there? So if you notice, remember we had a total of 25 employees. Well, you have 3 folks making either 100,000 or 85,000, right? 2 at 85,000 and 1 at 100. That means that the other 23 employees are making $24,000 or less, okay? So what I mean by that is if you look at the average, right, the mean, if you were going to go work for this company and they told you, well, the average salary is $28,280, they would not be lying to you. They would be telling you the truth. But if you notice, 23 of the employees don't even make that average, okay? More of the employees are closer to the 21,000. And the reason being is because we have these 2 numbers here. Those 2 numbers there, guys, are numbers that we call, let me see if I can write it over here. They're called outliers. Not as in you liar, but outlier in the sense that they are so far away from the rest of the numbers. They're so far out there that they affect my average, but they don't necessarily affect my median. When we have outliers like that, really big outliers, or in the same token, we could have really small outliers, the best version or the best measure of central tendency is always going to be the median, okay? So I know that was kind of a long problem, but I hope that it made sense as I went through it. Guys, let me know if you got questions, and that was 12.3.